Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. We begin with our top stories. The population of Balatu in Yaoundé woke up this morning to the tragic death of a man who died after a conflicting situation while visiting the girlfriend. The man whose wife said left for working a mission made a stopover at the girlfriend's place as usual, but was refused entry by the lady. We'll tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And construction works on the east entrance to Douala are far from ending. The slow pace of works is giving travelers nightmares as it renders circulation difficult. An alleged drug trafficking mastermind specializing in the smuggling of hard drugs, commonly referred to as curd or snows and other contraband goods, has been apprehended in Betua, in the east region of Cameroon. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. The population of Balade in Yaoundé woke up this morning to the tragic death of a man who died after a conflicting situation after visiting the girlfriend. The man whose wife said left for a working mission, made a stopover at the girlfriend's place as usual, but was refused entry by the lady. What exactly transpired throughout the night remains unknown. We'll have the details in the following story.
At long range, he appeared like a man standing in front of his door, but he is a corpse with a hanging posture, though solidly standing on his feet. The population gathered here with watery mouths, trying to understand the unfortunate situation. A true picture reveals that he was here at Mbalade in Yaoundé to visit his girlfriend as usual, but his visit turned sour as a lady refused letting him in because she was with another man. To make matters worse, she qualified him as a thief, shouting for help, but the guy stood his grounds as narrated by these eyewitnesses.
La vidéo, il était avec la fille et lui. C'est là où il me dit que c'est cette fille. Pour avoir une certitude, j'appelle dans la fille. Que sort, nous sommes là, nous sommes au quartier, donc tu dois avoir une certaine confiance normalement, nous sommes là. C'est là où elle ne sort pas entièrement, elle ouvre la première porte, elle envoie la tête. Sur la face, je vois que c'est la même face qui est dans la vidéo. Je lui ai dit que maître, je demande à la fille, tu connais ce gars? Elle me dit qu'elle ne le connaît pas, que c'est un braqueur. Je dis à la femme là que vous êtes les sorciers.
Alerted of the tragedy this Tuesday morning, the forces of law and order deployed at the scene to take stock and manage the incident. And what looks like a movie, while the massive population were trying to figure out where the victim came from to meet death, the wife from the Oja neighborhood of the capital city appeared running in tears, shouting that the husband left for a mission. And despite the commotion around the spot, the girl remained indoors for hours and could only open the door at about 10 a.m. when the gendarmerie officers were about to break in. Here she is, strategically taken out under the watchful eyes of the heavy population.
Construction works on the east entrance to Douala are far from ending. The snail piece of works is giving travelers a nightmare as it renders a circulation difficult visiting the site. The population recounts their ordeal and pleads for the completion of the work. Saleh Sharifa completes that story for us.
During an inspection tour to the site, Public Works Minister Emmanuel Nganunju-Messi mounted pressure on the companies in charge of the construction of the east entrance to Douala for them to quicken with the work.
The forthcoming days, I will designate some members of my expert to come and see what has been done. After their conclusion, I will then take a decision to generalize the treatment he has brought.
Construction on this stretch of road has been going on for 4 years now. This has pushed commuters to express indignation. Before, the traffic congestion was just too much. We could not spend 3 months without witnessing a terrible accident. But since the works began and the roads expanded, we hardly witnessed such. It's true the government is trying to give us a better road infrastructure, but the works are so slow. If they could hasten up things, it will be better. During rainy season, it is a nightmare for the population of this side, most especially for students. Presently, the works have really improved, but due to its slow pace, we the road users suffer a lot with traffic and dust, which affects our eyes. We have really been suffering with the dust here, and once again when it rains. When it rains, accessing the roads is really horrible. The delay is responsible for serious traffic holdups, especially during rush hours. With the coming of the rains, there are fears the situation will be aggravated. The population has applauded the efforts of the government but pleads on the works to keep pressuring for the completion of the works.
An alleged drug trafficker specialized in smuggling hard drugs, commonly referred as curds or stones, and other contraband goods, has been apprehended in Betwa in the east region of Cameroon. The illicit substances have gained popularity among the dealers in the east region. As our reporter, Kizi Kiga tells us more.
Coins and banknotes beyond counting, electronic devices and mobile phones, all acquired from robbery. These trophies, tramadol and cannabis are causing a stir in Betwa, with the East Gendarmerie Legend Command post to expunge trafficking.
We received instruction from the hierarchy to put an end to highway criminality in Betwa. So working with one of our agents, he gave us an information yesterday, and we went to the field in order to verify the information. On our way to Teresa, Carrefour Teresa, we had the information was correct.
Drugs, tablets, stones, as we call it. I sell all of these things. I don't know the use. They buy it. I am only a seller. I used to go and buy from Douala, then come sell here in Betwa. The two suspects were apprehended at Terentra following a tip-off.
We took him to the office and made some investigation. Later on, we went to where he was living. That's where we discovered many of the things that was stolen. That's television, phones. So we are calling on the population to come to the Legion and with their bills to justify if one of the equipment belongs to them.
Their fate will be determined by the competent authorities in matters of high-level criminality.
Debt keeps skyrocketing to hundreds of billions, and management of the borrowed money remains questionable. The African Network for Debt and Development has launched French advocacy for new policies to be put in place for efficient management of the funds for the benefit of Cameroonians. More with our reporter, Hysen Chia.
Cameroon's external debt stands at over 500 billion CFA francs, a situation that remains worrisome to Cameroonians, including members of parliament who underline that the borrowing procedures remain unclear.
The method of borrowing is a very disturbing issue. In other countries, to the best of my knowledge, a country cannot engage itself in borrowing money from the World Bank without this being presented to Parliament. is the parliament to be able to know that, okay, Cameroon is engaging itself in taking this debt, and this debt is meant for this and that and that. We cannot control government action when we don't know how much was borrowed and the terms, and so it becomes so difficult for us.
Converging in Yaoundé this May 6, the African Forum and Network on Debt and Development, with other organizations, held the Cameroon National Debt Advocacy Meeting with the objective of raising awareness on necessary actions that can influence public debt policies.
There should be clear institutional frameworks that are supposed to govern how we borrow, how we invest the resources, right? So that we don't also get into a situation of unsustainable debt or mortgage the future of our younger ones who will come on then to carry, part of this debt that we have accumulated during our own time.
Among the different stakeholders of the forum were the people's representatives who reiterated that the government must borrow for the right reasons.
How can we help us to move towards industrialization, transforming our own products here so that we increase our export and reduce imports?
With key instructions adopted, individuals and civil society organizations are urged to join forces and fight for the efficient management of public debts.
Cameroon is set to host the first ever national exhibition for women entrepreneurs in Yaoundé from June 6 to 9, 2024. It was announced on May 6 in Douala by the Federation of Association of Female Entrepreneurs in Cameroon. Gladys Ambodiban tells us more.
Over 200 female entrepreneurs are expected at Cameroon's inaugural national exhibition for women entrepreneurs, representing all 10 regions of the country. Organized by the Federation of the Association of Female Entrepreneurs in Cameroon, FASFECAM, the event in Yaoundé from June 6 to June 9, 2024 aims to showcase the expertise of female entrepreneurs, enhance their skills, and explore opportunities for financing and business development.
They have to make products made in Cameroon. So that exhibition will help them to show to the visitor, to the partners, to the sponsor, what can be able to do in the firms, in the enterprises.
At this conference in Douala, May 6, 2024, organizers revealed the theme of the exhibition, import substitution in the face of the stakes of the structural transformation of Cameroon's economy, saying it lays emphasis on the pivotal role women entrepreneurs play in promoting locally made products. This aligns with national objectives such as the import substitution policy and the National Development Strategy, NDS 30.
We are aware in our ministry that we cannot develop our country without women entrepreneurs. They are there, we know their dynamism, we know their creativity, and we know all what they can do to build.
In addition to products and service exhibitions, the 3-day event will facilitate knowledge sharing, expert insights, exchange of best practices, and partnership building among participants, fostering business growth and innovation.
The Local Development Index has been adopted to boost the Decentralization Council for this 2024 today, Tuesday, in Yaoundé, chaired by the Prime Minister and Head of Government, Joseph Dion-Gouté. Yes, an excerpt of the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, George Elanga Obam, at the end of the session, put together by our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
It's not perfect, of course, but the way it was presented and the result that I expected from the use of the index, we can say that decentralization is going to have a step forward. I would like to take advantage of this occasion to say that what we have been discussing about is not a ranking of councils. It is just to appreciate the level of the development of our councils and to see where they have to perform more than they are doing actually, and where the government has to put emphasis so that we can have an equilibrium between the local authorities. Regions are also concerned, but not as the councils are involved in the study.
Delegates from the South region recently convened in Cliquez in the Ocean Division to evaluate the development of projects of that area. The objective was to propose initiatives aligned with Southern region's sustainable development goals. More with our reporter, Christy Aya Are.
Under the attentive supervision of the Divisional Delegate of Southern Region, an assessment of the development objective has been conducted. Despite having implemented planning and sustainable development policies nearly a decade ago, there is still much work to be done. Today, the objective is to present the work that has been done and to ameliorate the criticisms that will arise. The suggestions put forth during the evaluation process are being taken into serious consideration. What we want this today is that orientation of the division should follow in line with that of the regional orientation, so we need coherence. I wish that this proposition should be accepted and more propositions should come in on the work we have done. The Ocean Department is renowned for its abundant mining, including iron and natural gas.
And despite being trapped in the webs of the current security crisis in the northwest region of Cameroon, a journalist in Bamenda did not stay indifferent to celebrations marking World Press Freedom Day 2024. Among themselves, they discussed professional issues, rewarded best practices, and danced out their fatigue in preparation to freshly jumpstart work again. More in the following story.
On the occasion of their day, two media umbrella organizations in the Northwest region recently organized separate events to mark the 30th edition of World Press Freedom Day in Bamenda. If Kamasech commemorated on the day proper 3rd of May, the Cameroon Journalist Trade Union, CGTU, came in one day after due to the current security crisis, partly responsible for the death of one of its members and to whom part of anniversary awards were organized.
I'm happy that I also won because at the time Anyendeso died, he was media officer of the national amputee football team. That story was never done targeting any award, but coincidentally, when the award was announced, I found a way to be able to share this.
With the 2024 theme, bordering on the depletion of the environment by man, Kamasech members replaced their microphones and pens with young tree stems to stem the tide of climate change.
Where we are, we're able to plant 20 trees at the esplanade of the SDO of Mezam Division. We are members of the society, and what affects the environment affects us.
As a journalist, I'm also living on this earth, and when the environment is sick, I'm sure that I'm also going to be sick.
If you see young girls who are actually trying to take the challenge to amplify the voices of women and make the work of women being known, it's but important that we support them.
Whether trade union or association, Northwest journalists for a rare moment almost stayed away from politicians for self-examination.
When you look around, you see plastics everywhere, and you don't report about that. You got to report only what the city mayor is talking about, other things. It doesn't make sense. We should be realistic.
Professionalism will entail investigative journalism, investigate your facts, cross-check, verify, re-verify for publication. No sensationalism.
They also made merry to relax the always tense brains, designing stories for their print, audiovisual, and today online audiences.
Now the international. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is a debrief with Lil Prejou. As for me, take another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.